Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I will be making a junk journal using some items from Temu. If you didn't see my haul, I had a video on junk journal essentials that I picked out on the Temu website. And so if you'd like to see that video, click the link down below. I'll have all of the same links in the link down below for the items that I picked out and that I'll be featuring in this little tutorial. But I wanted to show you how you can make a little junk journal using envelopes. These are the envelopes. They came in a package of, I think, 15 or 20. I'll have of course the links will have everything as far as the details, but I love these craft envelopes with the little coin wraps here. So I thought we could use these to make the cover. I also have these items and these vintage music sheets. It came in a pad. I think it was 30 sheets. They're like a 4x6 size, a little bit wider. And there's all kinds of music in there. I picked out the Christmas ones to use in this book. And then this handmade paper. It looks like there's like little leaves in there, and it's a white. And then I also have this fringed ribbon. It's a fabric cut into ribbon, and I think there's 5 yards on here, if I'm not correct. The whole pack came with 9 rolls. They have different quantities on Temu if you look it up, but I just thought this would be perfect for a junk journal, and I love the color for Christmas. I also have this red velvet ribbon that I purchased there. And then this was a set of ornaments, but I thought I could use this on the cover. It's a wood shape with a vintage Santa, and it came in this pack here, and there's all kinds of vintage images on the shapes. So yeah, this was a different haul, but I'll put this link down below as well. You can do this technique with any theme, of course, because you could just use whatever envelopes that you have in your stash. I am also going to be using some items that I already have in my stash. Some vintage book pages, vintage card. This is a napkin, a vintage envelope. Here is a doily. It's just a holly doily. These 2 book pages from a little golden book. I have this paper, just a plaid. I thought it would go well. I have a vintage music sheet, full size. It's Jolly Old St. Nicholas. And then I also have this vintage book page. I think it was from a golden book, Christmas golden book, one of the bigger ones, and it just had this really cute little page here with Santa. And then I have some green lined paper and some green dyed paper that I did with food coloring. So I thought these things would go well with the Temu items. And so let's go ahead and make this journal. So what we want to do is start with our cover, and we're going to take the 2 envelopes. There's a couple different ways you could do this. You can connect them right here. Take the 2 flaps and connect them, and just have an envelope going, or a tuck spot on one side. Or you could tuck it into, you'd have to take this part out, but you can also tuck this into the other flap like this and make that the cover, and then you will have a tuck spot going that way. Or you could take one flap and attach it to the other end of the other envelope, the non-flap side, like this. So you would have this pocket here and this tuck spot on the inside. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that was in screen or in my shot there. So I hadn't decided before I started filming how I was going to do this, but I think I'm going to do it this way, to where we connect this flap to the bottom of this envelope here. And I'm going to take these off. They just twist off because, well, I'll leave them on the one, but I may go ahead and change this string out to the red and white twine. So I think to match, I think that's what I'll do. So I'll just go ahead and do that here. So I'm just going to take, I don't know if I should leave this. I'll just leave that on there. It'll just be a detail on the back of the book. So we will go ahead and glue this down. I'm using tacky glue, but you could use double-sided tape, like a strong double-sided tape, or whatever liquid glue that you like to use on your projects. Just something that will hold, of course. Also, if you're watching this video and you leave a comment down below and you subscribe to my channel, I'm going to be giving away this little junk journal. So yeah, go ahead and leave a comment and be sure to be subscribed, and I will do a random giveaway with this. And I didn't get it lined up, so make sure you get it lined up to the fold as well as on the sides here, so it's all lined up. And then you can go ahead and press it down. And you could do this, which I think I'm going to do that. This will close like this, and then I'll be able to use this to tie around, and that'll just make a little flap. If you didn't want it to do that, you could, and your book was too chunky. I'm second guessing myself now. I don't think I want to do that, because then I wouldn't be able to have any trims or lace off spilling out the side of the book, which is what I usually do. So I won't do that, but you could do that if you wanted. You could leave this here and attach your string around and wrap it around the back end, this or whatever. So easy peasy little cover. I mean, now I'm just going to cover this. So I thought I would take this piece of the paper from Temu, and it has I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day down the bottom, and then at the top it has Joy to the World. So I'm going to take it and just rip it, and we're going to decorate this cover. And I may use some of that plaid paper that I have to back it, and then the Santa will go on top of everything. And I may grab some ink to just distress or add a little bit of ink around the edging, the torn edges. Maybe some red. Okay. there's that. And then I also want to use this paper kind of behind it. And I think that will look really cute like that. Yeah, so I'm just going to cut this so that there's just a little bit of a border around, like 1/8 of an inch. Oops, sorry about that. Just grabbing my paper cutter. So let's see here. This is about 4.5 inches wide. So let's see. I will do it at 4 1/4, I think would be good. If I cut it there. 4 1/4. Make sure, there we go. And then, let's see how, that looks to be about 6 3/8 inch that way. There. Okay. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I think I'm stuck here for some reason. Just need to clean this out. Not sure why it's did that, because I just used it. It's kind of stuck. I think I need to rinse this out. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. There we go. All right, I don't want to get too globby, so let's go ahead and put that excess on there. Okay, on with the show here. Just going to put a little bit of glue here. This is a thinner tissue, kind of, not quite tissue, but it's a like a cookie wrapping or something like that. I can't remember what it is. All right, so I went ahead and glued that on top, as you saw. I kind of lost my camera stopped there. Anyway, I'm going to use my forest green ink here. It's just a regular stamping ink, and put some green on the side just to add a little bit of color. I think my pads are pretty dried up. All right, that way. This is just the Stampin' Up. It's pretty old. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to do it at an angle. There we go. And Santa will go up here. I'm going to wait to put him down though, just because it'll take a little bit to dry. I am going to use the tacky glue. There is a little hole in there. I'm not going to worry about it. You could tie some ribbon. I suppose I could do that, or some twine. Maybe that's what I'll do. Just put some red and white twine. Let's see. I have this red and white twine, so I'll go ahead and do that. They are made to be ornaments or like a garland, but this will add a little bit more onto the cover. There. All right. So that will go there. So let's go ahead and do some stuff on the inside and maybe on the outside there. So I'm wondering if I could add a Santa on the back from the napkin. I already used one of the heads on here because I already pulled it off. So I'm just going to cut this off. And just trim away here. Kind of trim around the holly at the top, and then go ahead and cut around all the way around him. This isn't doing anything for me, so I think I'm just going to pull it off. I don't know if this will come off or not to make it smooth. Not sure. Try and take that off later. Let's see here. to cut that. Cut this a little bit down. And then I'm going to put some trim along here, I think. All right, and that's just one layer. So I'm going to use some Mod Podge, I think, just to go underneath it, because it's going to be hard to use tacky glue on this because it's so thin. But I'm not going to go over the top because I really don't want it to be sticky. I just want to stick it down. So I'm just putting a thin layer with a paintbrush down here. Now, after I put this down, I didn't get it in the perfect position there. There are a couple spots on the side on the left that you can see where I got the glue. So that's going to be a little bit shiny, which is unfortunate, but I think it'll be fine. It's just a couple places. I couldn't think of anything that I could use to cover those parts up. But I do go in on the side there and add some of that red velvet, just with my tacky glue. Just going on the edges, just making sure they're all stuck down, and then trim the ribbon. Moving to the inside, now I wanted to add some pockets to the pages on here, so I'm just trying to figure out what I wanted to use. So I took my scrap of that plaid paper and I'm just cutting it down to have just a slight border of the envelope around it. And then I'm going to take off that little disc. I pulled the whole thing out so it was flat. And then I'll put glue on 3 sides of my paper and just stick that down. Now I'm going to cut this piece out from the book page, and he's going to be sitting right on the front of that pocket. I think this is a really cute image of Santa. And since he's supposed to be peering over the top of whatever that was, I'm going to add a little piece of scrap of the paper, or actually that was from the napkin. So I'm going to cut that down so it's even and then glue it on my little pocket. And then put Santa down so it looks like he's peering up over a table. Now I'm going to use some more of that paper and make a strip and just glue that down. I wanted to add a little bit to that side of the book, or the inside cover. And now I'm trying to find something that I can use to decorate that side. So I'm cutting out Santa on the sleigh here. And I'll put him right there. And then I'll go ahead and trim off the bottom. Just checking the back and trying to decide what I'm going to do as my next step. So I'm going to add in this red and white twine. So the inside pocket you can tie up. And then also I wanted to cover those discs. I'm using my circle punch. Now this isn't the best circle punch. It works better on cardstock. And since this paper was really thin, I really had to work at it. And then I had to push out the metal part to get them out. So it really didn't work the best. But I'm covering up those discs. The last couple things that I want to do with the cover is to add a couple vintage buttons to my little coin wrappy things. I don't even know what they're called. But, so I'm just going to use some tacky glue and put those down. I thought that they needed something there. Those in the center, and then carefully I'm going to turn this over and glue on my Santa ornament on the front. And then I'll set this aside and work on the middle of the book, the little signature. So I'm just going to use some tacky glue on here as well. All right, I'm going to turn it over, make sure these haven't moved, and just go ahead and set that up there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and assemble my pages. I'm going to do that on a little bit fast forward because that's going to take me a while. So let's just get into it. All right, first we're going to be attaching these two music sheets with some washi tape. So I put part of the washi tape down on like half the side of one of the pages and then went in on the inside so they're nice and connected. So that's one of my pages, and then I have that card there. It's all ready to go. I have the envelope, so I'm going to fold it in the right width, stick the flap inside to make those little pockets. And then I wanted to decorate the blank side there, excuse me. And so I used this piece of the book page and glued that to that part. So that's ready to go. I have this book page, but it's too big, so I'm going to cut it down the middle and then fold them both to make two pages. Fold them in half. And then I have the doily, and that's just the right size. And I'll just have to cut this paper down, as well as this green lined paper. I'm cutting the music sheet in half, and that's going to go in the center of my signature so you can actually see the whole jolly old St. Nicholas all together in one page. And then I wanted to cut the last piece of this plaid paper down, and that's my opening, or my front of my signature. And I'm folding that over to make a little tuck spot in the back. So now I'm going to start just layering all my pieces. This is just random, but I just like to vary the sizes and the types of papers. Just trying to decide if I want to trim anything down, but I really like the way that looks. So now I'm going to take my paper clips and paper clip in towards the middle of the signature, towards the spine, and then attach it to the cover. Now I'm cutting my wax thread there, and I do it 3 times the height of the book, and then I'll put it through my needle go ahead and poke my holes. So I do one in the center and then one 1 inch from each end of the book. I'll take my thread and go through the center, go back through one of the bottom or top holes, take your needle, go all the way down to the bottom or the opposite, and then down through the center again to the middle. And then make sure each of your ends are to the left and right of that middle thread, and you're going to double knot it. And you want to make sure that everything is tight on the back of the cover. And then I just tied a bow, and then I decided I wanted to add some jingle bells at the bottom. So I have these little bells. They're just like a little, I think they're a 1/2 inch bell, the small ones. Not the itty bitty, but kind of normal size, I guess. So I'm double knotting those and then trimming it off. And that adds just a little extra to the book. All right, and then I decided I needed some more on the front cover, so I'm going to add some more of that red velvet ribbon with my tacky glue. I cut it a little bit longer, but I'll trim it after it dries. So now I'm taking some red yarn, it's a fluffy yarn, and adding it to the outside. I'm just tying it onto the signature thread and then adding some of that ribbon, the fabric ribbon. And then I'm going to trim off my ribbon at the bottom there. And then I decided I wanted one more piece of yarn. So this is in lieu of making a tassel. I just figured that this was a small enough book, it didn't need a tassel, it just needed a little bit of something on the side. So now I'm just going to stick a tag in there. I am going to add a little bit more to this book as far as the inner parts, but I just wanted to show you, what you could do with those little tags. I'll probably stamp the tag because it is plain, but you can also use it for journaling or whatever, put a picture on there. And then I'm going to finish it by tying it up with a bow with that green fringed ribbon. And I just think this turned out really cute. Alright guys, so here's my finished journal. I think it turned out really cute. And I love the little side detail here. As I said before, this is a small journal, so it doesn't need a full tassel. You can just add a few extra yarns and trims here or ribbons and then tie it up with your ribbon. So hopefully this gives you inspiration to make a simple envelope journal. As I said, this is a giveaway. When I hit 7,000 subscribers, that's when I will go back to this video and randomly pick somebody who leaves a comment and who also is subscribed. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment, and I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.